This is day 25 of our Viking European Sojourn voyage. Today we had some scenic sailing in the morning, a lecture before noon where we learned all about cheese making and some of the windmills, and then we got off at Kinderdijk where we really got to experience everything there is to know about windmills. The highlight of the trip was our guide who explained everything in a very animated way before our tour of Kinderdijk, and then in Kinderdijk we actually got to tour a windmill, a working windmill that is, and we saw how it functioned in real life. Very entertaining and a lot of fun.
Start with the most important shoe for farmers, millers and people who work in gardens. This is so amazing Dutch. You cannot afford it. Never you see them, mostly in Holland. There are three reasons to wear these shoes. The first reason, you can have a helmet on your head for safety. But if you have nothing on your feet, then you can have a problem. When something is dropped down from a windmill or farmhouse and it's going on my foot, wow, I must go maybe to the doctor. But listen to the sound what happened with a wooden shoe. The first safety shoe in the world. Yes. Welcome. The second reason, it can be very cold and wet outside. Put more than 3 pairs of socks over each other and then your feet in this shoe. It's warm and dry outside. But wait, after several months, not years, but months, you can have a problem. A hole in your shoe. And then start plan B. Hang your shoe on the wall with flowers inside. That's cozy, isn't it? And now the third reason. Do you know our character? The Dutch are amazing frugal, just like the Scottish. You know the term going Dutch? I drink, you pay? Very good idea. This shoe longs for 5 months and it cost €35. So that's nothing compared with shoes. That's the reason that we wear the Dutch. Do you know the term sabotage? Yes? This shoe means in the French language, le sabot. And when people in France don't like to work, and people in the factory, they stop a sabot in a machine. And the machine stops 100 years ago. And then the boss arrives. Wow, everybody's gone, why don't you work? You put a sabot in my machine, that's not honest. I think I can say that is sabotage. You can take it with you, it's extra. 2 questions left. The first question is, do you know the history of the first windmill in the world? It's a difficult question. I know the answer. 900 years after the birth of Jesus Christ, they found simple wind machines in Persia. And the Crusaders of the Holy Land, they took the knowledge with them by horses back to Europe, back to Holland. Now the second question. I think you know the answer already. Do you know that boy who saved Holland for a flood? I must disappoint you. It's not true. I don't know if I awake, out of a dream. The boy had the name Hans Brinker. It's created by an American author. She wrote down the silver skates and Hans Brinker. Maybe you know that story. It's beautiful, but it's not true. If you come here with 10 million fingers, you cannot help us. So we need machines, dikes and doors, you see. And now I go in a time machine, in a time capsule. Maybe you want to go with me. I go back to the 13th century. But I promise, I bring you back to 2024. Your dinner is waiting in Viking. You must go. Yes, this is the county, and that is a beautiful county, but in 1277, an earl arrived here with soldiers on horses. His name, Floris V. He saw marsh, more peat soil, mist, fog. He said, this is not good for living. I need monks to make reclaimed land. And he asked monks, do it. Take a lake, surrounded it by dikes and pump out that water. And then we have fertile clay. Apollo is the name. Yes. And he was responsible for waterboards and waterboard houses. Check. Waterboard houses. Yes, that were a communication center in 1600 and 1500 and 1400. Inside, people are watching how the situation was after a flood. And when they saw a flood coming, they warned the people out of those houses, evacuate your family, evacuate your cattle. Before it's too late, do it. And we ring a bell when it's safe. Yes, a very good system. But Floris V forgot one thing. This is Pete, and there I go, sinking into the soil. And that's not a good idea. So I'm happy with the 16th century. The first water pump mill appeared in this landscape. And a sawmill. A sawmill? Yes, a person with the name Cornelius son Cornelius. He invented a combination of a crankshaft in a mill and a saw. Put a tree in that mill, and then the wind is blowing. Whoa! You have planks at the end. And from those planks you can build wooden sailing ships and wooden windmills. The Dutch wanted to conquer the world just like the British, and we succeeded. The Dutch have had the first multinational in the world in 1602. Not the Americans with Coca-Cola, Microsoft or Facebook. No, the Dutch. And then we have had the West Indian Company going to Amsterdam for beaver and otter skins. And you make us amazing rich. And going to Indonesia, surround South Africa. And there we wished each other good hope for the trip to Indonesia, Cape Good Hope. And in Indonesia we found nutmeg, salt, pepper, cinnamon, glass, sugar, tobacco, and last but not least, tulips. But the tulip is not Dutch. Really, they come from Turkey. But if I came in Amsterdam in 1600 with a lot of tulips, everybody came out of those houses, the beautiful houses. Give me those tulips, then you can have my house. Tulip mania in those days, stupid. Changing a house for tulips. But they did it. And you make us so wealthy that we can buy everything in those days. Indonesia and New Amsterdam. Nowadays I take a picture of you, and then I have your face and so on in my camera. But in those days, the rich people asked painters, can you paint my body? Can you paint my family? No. Yes, you can do that. Well-known names like Rembrandt, Frans Hals, and Johannes Vermeer. I took one painting with me, sorry. It's not a real one, but I have a copy. It's too expensive for me. But everybody knows this girl, I think, the girl with the pearl. It's amazing. I wish that was my wife, so beautiful. No, that's a joke. I have a beautiful one. This is the girl with the pearl, painted in 1640. It was the maid of Johannes Vermeer. And he saw her in his kitchen. You are so handsome, may I paint you? 1644, this is the result. I think she's more handsome than the Mona Lisa. We have had another girl in a house in Amsterdam. That's a sad story. She hid it for 2.5 years on the attic of a beautiful house in Amsterdam. Her name? Anne Frank. She found her, but luckily she found also her diary. It's the most rare book after the Bible. It's a message to us, Anne Frank. And now I go to the windmill of your mind, the windmill of your dream. A beautiful draw, and that's needed to build a mill you will visit. 2 iron beams in a cross, like this, and then 4 wings on it. And you climb in those wings like a monkey, and then bring canvas from the back to the front. It's dangerous work, be careful. And then these are turning counterclockwise, not clockwise. I show you why. Wood is growing clockwise because of the influence of the sun. If you turn clockwise, a crack in wood will grow. If you turn counterclockwise with the wings, then it will close. It's better for your wood. We do that on the continent, but they don't turn counterclockwise in Great Britain, but they also drive on the wrong side. Yes? I don't know if there are British here, but I love you. You are my neighbors. Yes. And then I go to a wind axle, kind of cast iron, and then a big wheel. 70 teeth are coming out of that wheel. Holmhoek. It's growing in south of France, in Portugal and Spain. 70 in total. And that is amazing expensive. But more expensive is this stave. I think I have gold in my hand now. This is coming from our other colony, Dutch Guyana or Suriname. The name, green heart hardwood. Why will you say when I scratch fresh wood? Immediately I have green fingers, you see? This is a brand new exemplar, and this is a used exemplar. I told you, the Dutch are frugal, isn't it? I can use this stave for more than 30 years, and I show you that. First, 8 years, and then the same stave, I put it upside down. And I can use it again. 8 years. And then I turn it 180 degrees and do the same upside down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 32 of years. Is that frugal or not? And then I asked the millers if all that would to me for my wood burner. Warm in winter time and very romantic when I sit there with my wife. And a glass of red wine. I can be romantic, but you cannot ask my wife. She's not here. And now I stop for a moment with the mill. The King's Post is the next object. I go to my country, Holland. We have a lot of information for you about New York. Yes, Holland is made out of rivers. Switzerland, Germany, France, Belgium, and in combination with dunes and dikes, we made our country, Holland. And especially, I have an information about 12,000 windmills in 1600. Those 12,000 windmills were needed to make reclaimed land. This is a dam in the river Amstel, Amsterdam. This is a dam in the river Rotterdam. And out of this city, everybody must go with a sailing boat, sailing ship, to this point. This was the center of the world. This was New York. This was Manhattan from 1600. Amazing. And there, 200, 300, 400 sailing ships are waiting for the best wind in the back. And then sail away to China, Japan, Indonesia, Iraq, Iran, India, Brazil, USA. Everywhere you saw the Dutch flag. Yes? And then we have here a name, Hoorn. You don't know the city, you know the cape, named after that city. Cape Hoorn. It's the second Dutch cape after Good Hope. And that is found by those people here. And then I go to Haarlem. You borrow that in New York, but you can keep it, we don't want it. Yes. And Staten Island is here. The origin, Staten General, a politics system. And you changed it in Staten Island. This is the province Zeeland. Not well known, but you know the country named after this province, New Zealand. The Dutch found first Australia and they named it New Holland. And later on, New Zealand. But the British came after 150 years. James Cook arrived. Dutch, go away, we need prisons for our prisoners and we don't name it anymore New Holland. For us it's Australia, we drive on the left side, no problem. And they did it. And there is Tolen. It's a small island, but important for your history, American history. The family of Roosevelt emigrated from that Tolen. You know the well-known names, Franklin D. and Theodore Roosevelt. Field of Roses, Roosevelt. It's real Dutch. Here is Vlissingen, well known as Flushing. And then we go to Hoboken in New Jersey. And in New Jersey, Frank Sinatra was born, not here in this Hoboken. Brooklyn, exactly. And then we have Jonas Bronk. He emigrated to create farmhouses in the Bronx. It's so simple. De Bilt, well known for wealthy family, the family Vanderbilt, of the Bilt. My wife is born here in Koeverden, and Captain Vancouver is born 300 years before my wife, in Koeverden, Vancouver, in a castle. He left Koeverden to find Vancouver and Vancouver Island. And then I go to an island in New Amsterdam with red clay. The Dutch saw that island, but we don't say red to the color, we say road. So we named it Rhode Island. And we must sail a long time around an island in those days with sailing ships. That's a long island. Sorry. And then we love to eat rabbits. A rabbit means in Dutch konijn. And we saw a lot of konijnen on an island. And we named it Konijn Island. You change it in Coney Island. It's amazing. And then Henry Hudson. The Dutch asked Mr. Henry Hudson, find the road through America, the shortest route to Asia. He didn't find that road, he found Manhattan. And in those days it had the name Manhattan. Hatta, the hill. And we bought it from Native Americans for $26. We gave it away. Stupid. Manhattan is not Dutch anymore. Otherwise you speak Dutch instead of English now. Yes. And then Henry Hudson got the name to that river. He gave the name to that river, the Hudson River. And then Peter Stuyvesant, maybe you know that name. He was the best governor Holland had had. He was afraid for the French, the British and the Native Americans. Create me a wall in this street to protect my Dutch people. And we did it. We have the name, you have the money in Wall Street. And we paid every moment with Dutch dollars. $20, $300, it's now the US dollar. And we drove with coaches and horses. And then we needed a Breedeweg, a Broadway. And we found that Broadway. And now you go to Broadway for cabaret and musicals. And the last word, don't take a trauma with you. Yankee, it's Dutch. Sorry. A lot of boys, my colleague, has the name Jen. And most of them have the name Kees. Combination, Jen Kees. Jen Kees, it's the nickname for the Dutch. Sorry for you. Don't mention anymore New York Yankee. It's New York, Jen and Kees. Yes. And then I go to 1674. The Duke of York arrived with sailors in New Amsterdam. And immediately they changed the name from New Amsterdam in New York. It's better for the son of Frank Sinatra. A Dutch teacher, a simple Dutch teacher, changed your history in 3 minutes. I love it. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Special education. Now I go to the King's Post. We go back to the mill. It's an oak. And do you know where that oak growed? That growed in New Amsterdam. It's cut there, and 300 years ago, it was floating behind a sailing ship coming to Holland. And in mill number 2, you will see that oak back 300 years in a good condition. The mill is turning. This is rotating. Everything is rotating. And then we are back to the staves, a water wheel, a water axle, and then the secret, a scoop wheel like the Mississippi boat. That lifts up the water, up, 7 feet higher. Throw it in that land behind the mill, and the capacity 50,000 liters in 1 minute. But that's 300 years ago. And all mills can do that. Sometimes you must know the direction of the wind, so you can turn the cap. Only the cap is flexible, not the mill. You turn that big wheel there, and then 48 rollers are rolling in the yellow circle into roll wagons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Individual, just like this. And 48 rollers can go to let the cap 25,000 kilo roll. And then you feel wind in your face. That's enough. Stop turning. Climb down and go into the wings to bring canvas on from the back to the front. You made 4 sailing ships. That's the principle. Don't move. And then bring the canvas on and go to the rail. There are 5 willow blocks. Stop this wheel. Up is safe, down is not safe, because then don't walk nearby. You have no head anymore. Yes. How can a miller find the direction of the wind? In morning time, he can do that with a finger, but he can also pee in the morning. And then he feels the direction of the wind. It's not my habit. My wife doesn't like it. But I must say that. It's a possibility. There was no smartphone in 1600. No Apple, no Samsung. No, the language of the wings. Yes, the position was important. Everybody must look at the sign mill. I see the position that I must pump. Do it! And then they pump. And he get extra paid, and he use a lamp in night, in dark, there. Yes? But you can also show that there was a marriage in that mill. A birthday, a birth, or a mourning period when somebody died. And you can warn Allied pilots in World War II. Very brave of the millers. Show a special dangerous position, and the Canadian, the British and the American pilots knew, don't fly over Kinderdijk. It's dangerous. Yes. I end my story with a sense, God created the world, but I think the Dutch created art, yes. And 2 sons I have. The oldest son, his name is Joppe. He was for 2 years in Phoenix. Daddy, don't follow me. It's so hot here. 120 Fahrenheit is normal. You melt here. You must fly up and down in the mountains at daylight, at night. And he took his information from the Oxford Aviation Academy. Maybe once upon a time, he can say, here's your captain speaking. I'm very proud of that boy. And the last sentence I use, I borrowed from the song of Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. Thank you so much.
So following the lecture, we headed out into the Kinderdijk area and we got to tour one of the mills.
Okay, we go inside. Is die vrij?
Ja, ik heb er 13 tot 12 nog in, dus...
Now these are working windmills, and there's a miller, and they actually live in the windmills. And I guess there's quite a large competition to get the housing or the job, so that you can actually live here. And I'm not sure if they get paid, but I think they get free accommodation, which is a pretty nifty trick here.
If you want your
table covers,
For the quaint.
Right now.
Oh, damn, that's a good idea.
Ja.
Thanks, Lee.
We zien de nijverkunde van
Yeah, windmills.
So this windmill was built in 1736, I believe. And they've got the canvas out, so we're lucky we get to see one actually turning. And they only turn when the miller's at home. Too dangerous to run when nobody's home.
That's not a Harry.
So we took the included Viking tour, the walking tour of the windmills and lecture, but you could have also taken an optional tour. You had to pay a little bit of money and they would put you on this boat and they would sail you up to a different windmill, I think an older one, and let you tour around that way. And I believe they also provided a meal while you were on board. So now we finished our tour of the windmill. We've loaded back onto our Viking ship and we're heading on to Amsterdam for the evening. So our cabin is actually in the bottom of the ship. We have some smaller windows, and they refer to these cabins as swan rooms, hence why I wanted to get the video of the swans. Because the swans can swim right up to your window, and we did see that on this trip. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe.